I'd like to welcome new timers. Anybody first timers?
First time.
Welcome. And whereabouts? Ottawa. Toronto. Hey. Any other long distances?
Detroit.
California.
Whereabouts?
Hayward
Hayward Bay
Bay Area.
area?
Right. Near San Francisco.
Oh, Jane, right? Jane drove from Maryland.
All right.
Detroit.
Central Florida. Another California. Thank you all for going the distance, as they say. Now, when we began this walk was always on the weekend where Arlo would do shows at the church. And then that kind of veered off, and we would have the walk on another weekend. I still don't know why. But that was the way it is. So this year, we were going to do our regular Sunday between Mother's Day and Memorial Day, and Arlo said, well, we're going to have the Blunderites here. Why don't you do it on the weekend? I'm going to, do the shows. So we did that. So this is more of a marriage this year of all you old-timers, as young as you may be, and a lot of families touched directly by Huntington's disease and Blunderites. Now, some people, if you don't know what a Blunderite is, would a Blunderite like to tell people? Rolling Blunder Review, it's basically Arlo's fans, devotees, who are all kind of networked among themselves and all that kind of stuff. So that's what a Blunderite is. It is not a derogatory term unless somebody tells me I've offended them. So that's really great. We're all together again. The connection to Huntington's disease, as I suspect most people know, is that Woody, Arlo's dad, died of having walked the full course of living with Huntington's disease. But in the Huntington's disease extended world, community, family, Arlo's mom, Marjorie Guthrie, is probably a bigger figure because when Woody passed, she set out to, quote, do something about Huntington's disease. And she launched what now we know as Huntington's Disease Society of America through a couple of permutations, and basically all 59 of the different countries around the world that have HD lay self-advocacy associations trace their history back to Marjorie Guthrie. The Guthrie Center is dedicated to both Woody and Marjorie. And just a factoid, October 6th this year will be the centennial of Marjorie's birth. So, that's the connection for those of you who don't know it. Many folks here's lives are directly touched by Huntington's disease. So we raised money with the walk. As you can tell, because we're a half an hour and counting late, we're not the best oiled machine, which I apologize for. But we try to make it fun and lay back a little, and not really pounding you on, 50-50 raffles and the rest. So, thank you for waiting. That's what I'm trying to say. Good start. Okay, quick update, very quick, on the Huntington's disease world. Right now, I think the most significant thing is there is one study worldwide, an observational study. It's not to give a medication and see how it works or anything. It is to organize and get families on board so that when drug trials, real medication trials come, families be ready and they can recruit faster. Because almost all drug trials, not almost all, damn near all, never start or finish as soon as possible because the delays in recruiting. So worldwide, there's a study called Enroll HD that now has 14,500 people, families across the world with Huntington's disease enrolled and ready to go. No other disease has that kind of organization and families who are willing to say, I'm in and willing to help. So that number grows, Last year when I told you about it, I think it was about 7,000. So it's multiplying like that. But in terms of drug trials, there are actually trials now, particularly one of them, that where people are now halfway through their study of a design. It's a designer drug. It's not to treat a symptom. It's to treat HD at the cellular level. Gene silencing, it's called. And we're halfway through. In terms of the safety, which is all they can report now, everything's halfway through. Everything is safe. So it's moving along. And I think that most people put their hope right now in that one study. The other thing I'll just point out, if you hear it, was very big in the HD community, extended family worldwide. On May 18th, so about 2 weeks ago, Pope Francis, for the first time ever, had a private audience of a couple of thousand families touched by Huntington's disease, and greeted them. If you check the videos, he greeted them all, and many people that many of you know. There are photos all over Facebook of people hugging Pope Francis, not like a kind of distant one of these. I mean, really embracing him and him back. And that was big and very inspirational for everybody of all faiths. The first time any kind of big world leader has recognized family. The money goes to a number of things. On the research end, we give money to Dr. Neil Aronen's lab at UMass Medical Center in Worcester that works on a number of HD projects that are all based on gene silencing. And if you're from Massachusetts and you see the UMass promotional ad that has Dr. Craig Mello, who won a Nobel Prize for this kind of thing, he's not working on this, but UMass is well known for that. And people said, let's give some money to research too. So that's what we do every year, give some money. We've given money to things that support camps, particularly HDYO. If you know what that is, HDYO stands for Huntington's Disease Youth Organization, and they have a camp for kids from families. You know, the kids don't necessarily have HD, but they grew up in an HD family. There's no expenses. They fly them in, and we've supported that. We've also supported, and our contribution has kept it alive, and I think that's fair to say, to the upstate Rochester chapter for their camps for people with HD. And I think, as far as I know, there's only 2 of those left in the U.S., and they're one of them. And as many of you know, because we did it for years, we continue to send money to the Venezuelan care home for people with HD, Casa Hogar, and they need the dough. They need furniture and antibiotics and basic stuff like that. And others too, but that's it. In closing, 2 things. One is, every time I do this, people say, you didn't drill on this point enough, so here goes. Be careful when you walk in these roads. We've never had a problem, but everybody's out on a beautiful, June day on the back roads in Berkshire, and they're not used to seeing folks on the road. So please be really careful. I know you get yapping with people and you kind of forget about it, but please. And if you want to bail, as you veterans know, what? Would you like to share that with the class, Paul?
Just pointing fingers right down. I was pointing out I wasn't.
You are not alone. So if you want to bail in it, if you're new particularly, the others know this. If you want to bail, the vans will be circling around, and just give them the high sign, and they'll be glad to take you back to the church. There are what we call water stops along the way, as most of you know. Some different ones this year. Police officer station is there. And then we don't have the dump divas with us this year. Sadly, Maggie got weddings, and Mary Lou couldn't get here. So yeah, we miss them big time. Hopefully they'll be back. And if anybody's taping this, I hope they heard that side. We really love them. They made something out of it that was crazy, wonderful, crazy good. Then we get a shrimp cocktail stop, an ice cream stop. In lieu of the Divas, Sarah Lee Guthrie and the Hoping Machine will be there. Then down by Soul Tube, Annie. Correct. And Annie Guthrie and Rising Sun Records will be the second to last stop, and the last stop is that pickle stop at Amerigas. They're spaced about a mile between each other. With that, anybody want to make any announcements? Bully pulpit things? No?
Just thank you, Jim.
Thank you. No, I don't. I always said it. I do very little. You knew, only knew. But you might miss Lisa Guthrie, who's sick. Right. So I mean, if you want to know who does the work, it's Lisa. So trust me, I'll burn in hell if I ever accept how much I do. But Lisa will be back on her feet next year. Anyway, nobody got anything else? We're out of here.